Welcome to this look at guide-ish video on a mod pack on Farming Simulator 25 with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, the Supermarket Productions pack by Let's Be Having Moo, 75.62 megabytes download. Now, I was away when this released, and I've been having a look through. A lot of people have been asking me, am I going to go back and do backdated mod reviews? I don't tend to do that. Map tours I will do, mod reviews I don't tend to, unless there's something that piques my interest, something that I think, oh, you know, I wonder what that does or how it works or whatever it might be. And this is one of them. Now, coupled with the fact that Let's Be Having Moo reached out to me to send me some information, as did the Looney Farm guy, who Let's Be Having Moo had also reached out to, because we both do mod reviews as well, about the pack. So I've got some information to pass on. Now, I'm not going to passing judgment. A lot of people have been saying, you know, when I say whether stuff's working or not, or my personal opinion on stuff, that a lot of people feel swayed by my opinion on whether something is good, bad, indifferent, whatever it might be. You can make up your own mind. I'm going to show you all the stuff. I'm going to talk about the various different things, and there are some warnings, some information, some things that are obvious that I'm going to talk about while we're having a look at this. So this is not necessarily a deep dive, a kind of guide, some tips, some information, some stuff that might help with setting it up and that kind of stuff. I've got everything out, and there is a lot to this pack. So what I'll do, I'm going to read some information to start off with. This I received from Let's Be Having Moo, and it talks about the mod. So it says, people have been having issues with the mod loading correctly. It says, my one adds 69 new fill types, which leaves the game about 10 other fill types to be added. So if my mod is used with other mods which add fill types, so it might be different types of pallets, different types of products, whatever it might be, some of my productions won't work as the fill type isn't getting loaded correctly. This doesn't show an error in game, only in the log file, but it will show the production chains menu to be buggy or blank. The mod works standalone and with other mods which don't add a lot of other fill types. So if you are trying to use this mod, if you're having problems with it, it could be a mod conflict with another mod that adds fill types, or just another mod generally. That's my rule of thumb. If a mod's not working properly, come back out, try it without any mods installed or selected, and see, because it could be a mod conflict that's causing the problem. He goes on to say, I don't want you to review it and have the error showing the production chain not working due to conflict with other mods. The limit is set by the game. The only way you could stop the issue was removing a lot of the recipes, which kind of defeats the point of the mod. Now, the message that I also got in Discord was saying that Let's Be Having Moo wanted this to pretty much utilise every production, every crop type in game, which it does. If I have a quick spin round, we have got building after building after build, which I'm going to go through. We'll have a talk about all the various different stuff. I'm starting here. I'm going to try and do it in an order that I personally feel you would need to set this up in for it to run efficiently, and it will take a while. Top right is saying December. I have on my test map the weather, the day set to a July day, but obviously it still scrolls through the months. This has been about 5 months, I think, to get to this point. I'm on 1 day months at the moment. 5 months to get to this point, to get all of the pallets out and all the things I needed to, because one production relies on another production, which relies on another production, that kind of thing. If you don't like doing pallets and productions, this is not going to be for you. None of the productions mods that come out that do pallets and goods and fill types is going to be for you. If you don't like pallet stuff, then that's fine. And you don't have to, of course not. You can just stick to just doing farming. But what I will say is this is all encompassing. This is an all or nothing mod pack. You can't get the mod pack and just pluck one bit out and say, I'm going to use that. Because a lot of the productions require the other productions for them to work, which will make more sense as we go around. So let's have a look at this first. So this is the pig manure pigs, 19 slots, 75,000 to buy. We have an option for solar panel and colour on this. If you look at the side, you see the side of the building, we can see a little bit there. It's not green, it's got a cream colour on there, on the walls. So you can change the colour on this as well. This will do 275 pigs standard, but I think, if I recall correctly, we can customise the pen and make the pen bigger if we want to. Now, I say 275, that's what it says in the description. I placed this standard and it came up saying 332, which puzzled me, but that's absolutely fine. Now, why do we need pigs? Because the orchards that come with this pack and the greenhouses require pig manure. And I say require, if you want them to run as efficiently as possible, they do. They can run using solid fertiliser, so you don't have to do the pig manure. There's also a pig manure production, which is just there. So if you don't want to do pigs and you still want to get pig manure, you can run it through this little silo here. So let's have a look at those things first of all. If we go into our build mode, go down to our animals, across to our pigs, and down to here, you will see there for 75 grand, there's your pig manure pigs, which is this one just here. And then just there for 25 grand, the pig manure pig mixer is 6 slots, 25 grand. Most of the productions, I think pretty much everything in here, apart from that pig pen, is 25 grand. So I won't say that every single time. I think they're pretty much all 25 grand. I think that one of the shops is not, but I think everything else is 25 grand. So if we come over to here, you'll see that's kind of running already. I had a weird happening with this. Well, not weird, it's pretty standard now, I guess. So down the bottom there, pig manure pig, and you'll see there manure and slurry that the pigs will be producing. So I've brought them food, I've brought them straw, off they go. And they're producing manure, they're producing slurry, which is showing there, and then you switch this on, so it's a production to produce pig manure. Now I've got my pig manure set to distributing, so that will go out to the orchards and the greenhouses, which is absolutely fine. All good, happy with that. But there's a lot in there. Now you won't have that much in there. The reason that happened was the pig manure mixer, which is the next one up, I've just clicked up to that one, that holds 50,000 and 100,000 litres. Does exactly the same thing, but you can put manure in it, put slurry in it from other locations if you just buy it from an animal dealer or buy it from a multi-fruit buying station, whatever it might be. You don't have to have the pigs. You can put it in there and you can run pig manure. Again, I've got that set to distributing, but when I first placed it, I placed that silo right here next to it, and the two linked together so that everything I put into that was showing in here. But that was the weird thing. When I then deleted it, I removed it and put it over there out the way so it was showing independently. The contents of that silo remained in here. That's why I'm showing so much slurry manure. Anyway, so they're both running pig manure, and that's kind of important for the next step across. So that's the first two items. So move across here then to orchards. I've got two of each because I wanted to run a little bit more efficiently, I guess. Now, this also comes with a warning of sorts. That takes a while with the pigs to build up. Obviously, I've got a load in there. So the quickest way to get that running and get pig manure going is to use the silo and get that running. That's absolutely fine. These are a bit of a bottleneck because a lot of the productions moving forward, I say a lot, a few of them require some of the items from these, but these actually run fairly slowly. They're not the fastest. Productions, and again, I'm going to put this out there, this is a blanket statement. Recipes and cycles per month are pretty good across the board. They're not crazy bonkers fast. They're also not ludicrously slow or anything like that. When I show each of the productions, I will have the screen up. I'm not going to read everything out, but the screen will be there. You can have a look, you can pause it, you can do whatever you want to do to have a look at the menus and that kind of stuff, to see the recipes and stuff. Now these will do standard things, the greenhouses will do standard things, as well as some additional crop types which have been added in, which make the next stuff moving forward a bit more interesting. I'm trying to make it as straightforward as possible, which isn't always easy. So with all that out of the way, I really do need to speed up. So let's go into our menu here, go from our factories, and we want down at the bottom there. So like I said, 25 grand. So we've got the orchard, 17 slots, and the super greenhouse is 13 slots. As you can see, both 25 grand. I've got two of each placed. We whiz over to here, water in. Again, if you've got a distributor, you can distribute stuff out here. Solid fertilizer, that's where there you go, that's our pig manure, which is different to normal manure. And we click on this and you'll see, so this produces apples, which I've got running. Grapes I haven't, because I can get grapes from anywhere. I can buy them from a buying silo for setting all this up. Top right you can see pig manure, solid fertiliser and water. So you've got recipes for pig manure, recipes for solid fertiliser. So you don't need pig manure if you don't want to. However, having both running will speed things up a little bit. So we've got grapes, we've got lemons, again pig manure and solid fertiliser, olives, oranges. So these oranges, lemons and apples are needed for other productions moving on. So again, it is all interlocked. It's not even a case really you can say there might... I've got to stop making these sweeping statements. There are some productions, because I want to get later on some that say, oh, but you can use this one on its own. There are some you can use on their own that don't require some of these things, but a lot of it is interlinked. That's just, we'll just leave it at that. So anyway, if I look at the apple recipes there, 4 to 1 gives you 2 out for with pig manure. And if we go down there, that one is 5 to 1 and 2 out using solid fertiliser. The recipes do vary ever so slightly, not hugely, but as was there, 5 to 2, 6 to 2, not 6 to 2, 5 and 2 gives you 4 out, 6 and 2 gives you 4 out. Sorry, I'm trying not to confuse anybody. So that's your orchards. Then we come across there, so I've got 2 of those running. That's what I thought better show the pallets. So that's what your pallets look like. So if you're doing just pallets of those, lemons, apples, oranges. And if you wanted to run just that particularly, and you can sell those, all of these things can be sold on their own. Take them to the sell points, wherever it might be, and sell them as they are. There are prices for these things, or they can go on to Onward Productions. That's entirely up to you. Then move on to the greenhouses. Again, a solid fertiliser, seed, pig manure, water's further around. These do hold a fair amount as well. Pallets, I think I've got one of each around here just to show you. These are the additional ones. So we've got onions, we've got cucumber, red pepper, and we've got chives coming out of these. So if you just particularly wanted to run a different type of greenhouse, the pack's not that big either. It's not like it's hundreds and hundreds of megabyte download. So as you can see there, we've got chili peppers, which is a standard one, chives with the 2 different types of recipe, cucumber, garlic, lettuce, long grain rice, nice to have in it, Napa cabbage, onions, red peppers, rice saplings. So if you are going to be doing these, you're going to need rice saplings. I think that's part of the recipe. If I go across the rice and come down, there you go. 12 water, 1 rice sapling, 4 pig manure gives you 8 rice. So you can grow your rice saplings in here, or bring rice saplings to it. It's entirely up to you. Spring onions, strawberries, tomatoes. So we'll do your regular ones plus these ones on top, and the pretty much same recipes as the orchards were really. So these will give you Onward Productions onto other things. Nice. So that's your orchards and greenhouses. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what, yeah, it may not be 100%, but the productions I would do next in order to have things prepared, because this is a case of preparing products for the next thing in line. Now this one is almost a standalone, so that's what I was going to say earlier on about standalone. Now some of the productions have these, not all of them, but some of them do. This is it has an Onward Pallet, so this combines some of the things the production makes into this, and these are worth a fair bit of money in the supermarket at the end. So these are worth doing. There was a production on FS22 that did this. You had different pallets, and if you combined those pallets in another production, it gave you like a super pallet, and then the super pallet was worth way more than the previous pallet. It's that kind of thing. This one here is our NonFood Factory. 16 slots, 25,000 to buy. Colour option on this. And if you look at the productions, this does pretty much all the standard stuff. So again, this is not necessarily going to require any additional things. But we've got clothes, requires your usual things. It requires fabric. Then you've got fabric requiring cotton and wool, furniture from planks, long planks or wood, so you've got furniture on here. Then we've got paper roll, rope from cotton, rope from wool. So all of these are, like I said, fairly standard, not requiring anything in addition to what's normal in game. But this is the non-food pallet. That will take clothes, furniture, paper roll and rope, package it up into one pallet, and then that can go on to the sell point or on to make another thing, which we'll see later on, which can earn you more and more money each time. So these, you can produce any of these, you can sell them as you normally would do any production, but that's the big money item. That's what you're going to be aiming for. And again, cycles a month recipes are fairly standard. Capacities of stuff that comes in is all there. You can set other things to distribute into here if you want to. It's entirely up to you, and you can run this. So this non-food factory is pretty much a kind of standalone. I'll show you all the factories in a moment, and that's the pallet that you're aiming for. That's the non-food pallet, which has a mixture of things. Now I'm going to whiz down the side. We're going to come back to all these in just a minute, because the next two I would suggest personally to move on to are these two down here. So we've got a dry foods, a dry productions and a liquid productions factory. So this is the dry productions, that's the liquid productions. Now why would I do these next? Because some of the other Onward productions require these things to get them up and running, and these again are fairly straightforward to get going. So this is our dry foods production. We click on this one here, there you go. So we've got flour from sorghum, mixed flour, which is an interesting one. So you can do wheat, barley, oats, sorghum all together will give you flour out. So it's a mixed flour. Mixed sugar, again, sugar beet and sugar cane will give you sugar out. These are the ones that are required for Onward. Some of the other things are, but again, some of these things you can get from buying things silos, you can buy from the pallet warehouses, that kind of stuff. But these are different products that you can't buy from anywhere else. So you have to run them through these productions if you want to get these up and running. So oat flour, I've got that set to distributing. That's just a simple case of oats in, flour out. Raisins, rice flour, sugar beet sugar, and then we've got this one, wheat only flour, and then whole grain flour. So these are going to be required for productions later on. That's what I'm showing you now, because if I went onto those and said blah 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 blah, and then oh these require this, you'd be then thinking, well, hang on a minute, where's that production coming from? So I'm trying to do it in a sort of set order. And again with these, that's just wheat, oat, barley gives you whole grain flour, and that one is just wheat, which gives you wheat only flour. And they're all set to distributing because I want them going elsewhere, but I do have a pallet of each out. Where did I put them? They're on the back. So again, if you want to sell these on their own, there's our wheat only, there's our oat flour, and there's our whole grain flour. Now I will say some of the pallets are very intricately detailed. When you think of some of the mods, some of the productions, some of the things that have come out, some of the base game stuff, they're fairly straightforward, standard, no nonsense boxes and pallets. And again, I'll come back to the start when people will often say it just becomes pallet simulator. Again, maybe if you want to try something different, if you want to run this as a whole enterprise, that thing of you're building almost a big industrial complex that requires all of these, and you buy one, buy the next, build up, this is the order I would buy them in. I would get each different one. That one especially, the non-foods factory, you can get that up and running, you know, with a few different things off of base game productions, get that going, start making some money from that, and then move on to these other ones. But you want that, you want the greenhouses, you want your stuff running already, because you need those products built up before you move forward. So these are the liquids that, over and above standard liquids, that I would want out for Onward productions. So we've got barley malt extract, we've got glucose syrup, and we've got vegetable oil. So not sunflower oil, not olive oil, not canola oil, but that's vegetable oil, but that does require a few of the others. So we come into here, what have I run out of? I've run out of something. I've run out of barley. Oh, blimey, okay. Right, so barley malt extract, canola oil it'll do normally, olive oil, rice oils, sunflower oil. So this is your oil mill, but it does these extra ones. So your barley malt extract, 10 barley, 10 water gives you your malt extract out. Our glucose syrup is corn and water, glucose syrup, and then the vegetable oil requires soybeans, sunflowers, canola, olives and corn. That will give you a vegetable oil, a mixture of all of those combined. And again, set to distributing because they're going to be needed for an Onward process. Now, as I said, you know, if we go into the build mode and we go to our factories and scroll down, they're all here. Like I said, they're all 25 grand. So we can go in here and have a look. They're all here. Crisps, biscuits, cereal, sandwich, ready meals, dairy, salad factory, bakery, creamery, dry productions, liquid productions, just where we were, and then down from there. So they're all 25 grand. I could come in here and shown you. I'm trying to think, what else was it? I already said that the non-food factory had a colour option. All of them are pretty much standard, apart from the salad factory, which has a colour option on the wall. You notice on this one, it's got like an orangey stripe around the side of the wall, kind of orangey stripe. And the salad factory's got orange around the windows and the door. That's another one that has an option for colour option. All the others come standard as they are. And they are base game factories. There are a couple that may be a little bit confusing, but you should be okay there. Now, On from those then, the dry productions and the liquid productions, I would do the creamery next. So our creamery is this building just here. Again, 25 grand. The creamery was... Oh, actually, I'll read... We've got 16, 14, 15, 15, 17, 16, 12, 16, 17, 12, 14 on the slot counts. There's nothing really above that. The orchards were 17. Nothing crazy high. So I won't read all the slot counts and again, and we've talked about the price. So the creamery then. This one again is one that I would do next, only because Onward Productions that need this would be the next thing I would kind of look at in the process. So our creamery, if we go into our creamery just here, you can see it kind of acts like a dairy production. So we've got our butter from milk, cheese, chocolate, cream cheese is important, fresh pasta is important, mayonnaise and sour cream, because other productions need these, but they are additional on top of normal stuff that we previously have in game. So we go to our cream cheese, the recipe's there. 5 milk bottled, 2 lemon, so the lemons come from the greenhouses. That's why I said get the greenhouses up and running nice and early, and you can get your cream cheese. If we come off there and go down to our pasta, eggs and flour gives us our pasta. That's going to be needed later on as well. Mayonnaise, eggs, vegetable oil. That's why you need that liquids factory running. Because you need the vegetable oil. We also need lemon from the greenhouses, so you need those up and running before you run this one. Gives you mayonnaise. Then our sour cream, milk, butter and lemon gives us our sour cream. Now this also comes with a slight warning, and you'll see all the things that requires incoming: butter, eggs, flour, garlic, goat milk, lemon. So it depends. If you're going to run other things, you know, the garlic and stuff is needed. So, you know, fill these up. The capacities are all there, whatever it is you might be running. This comes with a warning. I've got my butter up the top set to distributing, not storing. Because this produces, because you can make butter here, if you have it on storing, if you bring butter to here, not producing it, it will put the pallets out. But the frustrating thing is, the cream cheese, not the cream cheese, what was it? What needed butter? One of these did. Am I going mad? There you go. The sour cream needs the butter. So if you are producing butter, or you bring pallets of butter from elsewhere and put them in here, because it makes butter itself, it puts the butter back out again as a made pallet. So I set it to distributing. The problem is there are other productions in this pack that take butter. So on the hour, it was moving butter from here to another production, and I was losing it. So it kept getting to a point I was running out of butter to run my sour cream. This was the only one that did it. But anyway, these are the main products, but again, I've set these to distributing because I need these and other things. So there's our pallets. I say the detail on that's amazing. That's cool. Fresh pasta on there. This one here, we've got a cream cheese, we've got a mayonnaise, and we have got our sour cream, again, which can all be sold separately. At this point, I can say, right, that's it, I'm done, I'm selling them. Brilliant. But they can then be used for Onward Productions. Now, I'm trying to remember, I think it was just those things that you would need to set up first before moving on, because what we can do now is we can look at any of the productions. I think anything else that comes from these is in the other productions. So I will start next with, let's go to, actually might as well do this one, seeing as we're right next to it. I did put too much of a few things in, so I've got a little bit of cheese sitting there, but it is being used. So this one here is our ready meal factory. You can see I've got quite a few run out of here. So we've got various different things coming out of this. Egg fried rice. We've got enoki mushroom pancakes. Green bean casserole. We've got this one here. Tomato and red pepper soup. Cheese pasta. And then we've got a few of the other ones. And then these two here. Or is it two or one? Oh, I've got two. So again, some of these productions have this. This is the ready meal box. So you can produce your ready meals, but then a combination of those ready meals gives you the ready meal box, which is worth way more, which can then be sold later on. So have a quick look in here at the ready meal factory. So there's our cheese pasta. You can see all the things coming in. There's quite a lot of inputs. Carrots, cheese, eggs, enoki, flour, garlic, green beans, long grain rice, milk, bottled onion. There's a lot. So, but again, this does require things from other places, so that's why I would need those other things set up first. So our cheese pasta recipe on this: fresh pasta, flour, cheese, milk, bottled and butter, egg fried rice, long grain rice, peas, onion and eggs, Mushroom pancakes, gnocchi, flour, eggs, garlic, carrots and rice oil. Green beans, oyster mushroom, onion, parsnip, garlic and carrots. Then tomato and red pepper soup, red pepper, tomatoes, onion and garlic, nice. And then the ready meal box, which is worth more, takes some of those items. So I got one of each pallet, some in two in each pallet, because some ran faster than others, because of the things that I had available at the time. This is why I'm now saying I would do them in a separate order. I kind of put it all out, got some of the things running I could, but then as I was doing it, started to work out a process of what order would I do these things in. So that will give you a ready meal box out, utilising all those different things. So once I had the pallets out, I then set them all onto ready meal box, and that then takes them as they're producing and produces the ready meal boxes, of which I have 2 at the ready meal factory. So that's this one just here. We come around the back of the ready meal factory. We're going to the selling later on. You can make some tidy money on this. I did put on the thumbnail too much ? And that is genuinely a question. Like I say, I'm doing this as a separate mod review because on the day this came out I was away with MrSealyp. That was a day that I think there were about six or seven mod packs. Each of those mod packs would have been a mod review in its own right. This 100%. There's no way all of this could have been fitted into a mod review with 20 other mods. It's just no way. But the question is it too much? Is there a lot going on here? That's why I'm doing this video, because it starts off, it can be overwhelming, it can be complicated. Should it all be interlinked? That's the point behind the pack, I guess. That's what the modder has intended. I don't know, people will have different views on how they feel about it. So this is our crisp factory, and I've tried to get one of each pallet out, and we've got a few of the ready boxes here, as you can see. This ran really efficiently, really effectively. Also, crisp factory, cereal factory should I say, sorry. So we've got chocolate pop cereal, frosted honey flakes, golden honey puff cereal, strawberry cereal and wheat biscuits. Now I don't think, oh yes this did, I was saying no, this didn't require anything else, but it did. The wheat biscuit cereal required barley malt extract, so we did need the liquids factory running. That was strawberries, oat barley, yes, oat flour, so this did require some other things as well, vegetable oil as well, so this did require some of the other things before we could get it all going. Barley malt extract, glucose syrup, yeah. So the recipes here, rice, sugar, chocolate, glucose syrup, so it did require the other thing. That one has the barley malt extract, that one has, oh that one we could have done, wheat, sugar, honey and sunflower oil. That one as well, strawberry, oat, barley and rice flour, that's not too bad, but this one required barley malt extract as well. And then the box combines all of them to produce a cereal box, which is a combination of all of those different things produced. Again, incoming items and recipes, again, like I say, fairly standard, you know, nothing too crazy, not over the top. 240 cycles per month, 10, 10, 5, 10 to 10 out. You know, you're losing a bit in the production, but they're worth a fair bit. You can earn pretty good money on them. And our pallets are all out here, as you can see. Chocolate pop cereal, frosted honey flakes, golden honey puffs, wheat biscuits cereal, strawberry cereal, and then these are our cereal boxes. Now, something I haven't mentioned actually, these are not liftable. None of these in this pack are liftable. I think some of the ones that are base game productions, and if you've got the liftable pallets and bales pack by Yos, standard base game pallets that get produced by any of these productions I think are liftable. I haven't actually done any base game ones. Oh, I did butter came out and that worked fine. But these ones, anything produced from this pack don't, so that's just something to be aware of. So next up from there we come over to here. This is our biscuits factory. We will get to our crisp factory in a minute. So we've got biscuits being produced again round the back. We've got our various different biscuit types, and these are the biscuit boxes. So around the back here we've got oat biscuits, fruit shortcake, custard creams, chocolate biscuits and jam biscuits. Jammy Dodgers. I don't mind a jammy Dodger. Come around the side here, onto production. So our biscuit factory, again this was, yeah, so this required wheat only flour, so I couldn't produce anything from here until we had some wheat only flour. Sugar, butter and chocolate for that one. Custard cream was wheat only flour, sugar, butter, milk and glucose syrup. That one was wheat only flour, again sugar, butter, raisins. The jam biscuits, wheat only flour, this required vegetable oil as well, so sugar, butter, strawberries, vegetable oil. And the oat biscuits, oat, sugar, butter, vegetable oil and honey. So all of these did require something from a previous production, with all those incoming products just there. And then the biscuit box, combining everything, there you go, puts one of each of the boxes, or say one of each of the boxes, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 to 10 into the biscuit box. And we've got a few of those have run already. So Biscuit Factory, I'll be honest, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because I know I keep referring back to the same thing, and I don't want it to be a negative. I would have, like, some of these things I think would be a cool production on their own. A Biscuit Factory, I like the malt extract thing, those kind of things. Some of these would be cool on their own as a production. But because a lot of these, again, I know I'm harping on about the same thing, require products from other productions within the pack, you kind of have to run all of them anyway, you know. You could get away with, well no, actually, because this requires glucose, yeah, but you can't, can you? But I do like that one, Biscuit Production, that's just there. I've got to make sure I don't miss any out. So we did that one. Let's go across the back here, then we'll spiral into the middle, then we'll go down to the bottom, because then we come to the sell points. The sell points are quite important as well. So this is the Crisp Factory, if I recall. Yes, it is. And I've got loads of these out the front, because I made an absolute gaff setting these all up. So crisps, tomato curly potato puffs, sour cream and chives, cheese corn puffs, sweet chili crisps, and cheese and onion. And then again we've got our crisp pallets out the back here, crisp box, which is a mixture, you know, the old multi-pack of crisps. That's just a multi-pack box. Come on to here, and now crisps. So incoming products, we scroll up and got all the various different things coming in. There's a fair bit, as you can see, without oils, cheese, chives, so this does require the greenhouses, onions. This produces potato starch as well. If you look at about halfway down there, it says potato starch. Potato starch didn't come out, actually I didn't even see if it would come out as a pallet. So we go down to recipe there. So corn, canola oil and cheese corn puffs. So this one required potato, sunflower, onion and cheese, so this did require onion, so it had to run that. That one required sour cream, so it did need other production. Potato, sunflower oil and chives, we need chives from the greenhouse. Chili crisps, potatoes, sunflower oil and chili peppers. Actually that one we could have got away with, that's fine. And then this one required potato starch, sunflower oil, tomatoes and rice flour. Now one of these, which one was it? There we go. The sweet chili crisps produces potato starch as well as the sweet chili crisps. So does that one. That's the crisp box. That one made potato starch. That one didn't. So three of them produce potato starch. And that final one, that requires potato starch to make the crisps. So I kind of set it all running off and going. I didn't actually check to see if I turned that one off and it wasn't using the potato starch, would I get a pallet of potato starch out? And then we've got the crisp box there that takes all the various things. You get the idea now with these boxes. It takes the combined things and puts them in, and you get the crisp box coming out. And I'll show you the prices and stuff later on. So we've seen the pallets on that. We looked at that one earlier. That's the non-food factory. Let's move forward. Must speed up. We've got a load more to see. So this one here is our salad factory. We've got our salads all out here, including our salad box just there. So various different salads coming out of here. We've got a Napa cabbage slaw, potato salad. We've got mixed leaf salad. This one here was a pea pasta salad. And this one here is beetroot salad. Now the beetroot salad I could run straight away. But obviously that one required pasta because it's a pea pasta salad. Salad box requires all of them, so I couldn't do anything to that was running. Napa cabbage slaw, that required, some of these required mayonnaise, some required oils, I think it was. Mixed leaf salad, but we'll have a look at the productions in here. Come to our building. So there we go. Beetroot salad was quite straightforward because that required red beet, spinach, goat cheese and olive oil, which I could get from other productions anyway, or buy directly, or buy a pallet of, which wasn't a problem. Mixed leaf salad was lettuce, spinach, tomatoes and cucumber. Cucumber from the greenhouses, so I needed that, the greenhouses up and running before I could do that. The Napa cabbage slaw was Napa cabbage, carrots, mayonnaise and olive oil. The pea pasta salad peas, spring onion, olive oil, cheese and fresh pasta. So we need the fresh pasta from the other production, which then it needed something else from another production. So this was a knock-on effect, this one, to get the fresh pasta. Potato salads, potato, spring onion, olive oil, mayonnaise. So we needed mayonnaise coming into this. Then the salad box throws everything together. And again, the recipes aren't, like I said, right at the very start, nothing too bad. But they all do require quite a lot of incoming products. Again, that might be a negative. You might decide, well, I don't know, it's just too much. I don't know. Only you can decide. So this one here. Now we saw the creamery. This is our dairy. The dairy does similar things to the creamery. Not, you know. So we've got buffalo mozzarella. We've got our cheese. Cheese board is an additional. Chocolate, then we've got chocolate milk, we've got goat cheese, milk bottled, again fairly standard for a dairy, oat milk, soybean milk and strawberry milk. Now the cheese board was interesting because the cheese board required cheese, buffalo mozzarella and goat cheese, so we could get that one running fairly straightforward. Off we go, no problem at all. The chocolate milk was milk bottled and chocolate, again not too bad. The oat milk just required oat and water. Soybean milk was soybean and water, and the strawberry milk was milk bottled and strawberries. So all of this, actually this one was pretty much, we could actually do this one, couldn't we? This cheese board didn't require anything over and above that, did it? No, so this one we could actually do standalone, in so much as you go and buy pallets if you wanted to. You didn't require any other productions to get this up and running. But then we do have the dairy box there, which combines all those various different things this is producing over and above standard productions to put into a dairy box to send onwards. That's our dairy. Next door to that, we've got a bakery. Now it's interesting because it's a bakery building, but then we've got a bakery over there, but that's a sandwich factory. We'll get to that, don't worry. I know there's a lot to take in. The bakery factory, again, I love this. If this was standalone, this is cool with a greenhouse or something. I'd love this. Because we've got apple pie, we've got chocolate and orange cake, is that supposed to be flapjacks? Flatjack? I don't know. Is everything called flatjack? Anyway, flatjacks, lemon cheesecake, and vegetable pie. So these again, incoming. There's a fair bit of stuff incoming if you want to run everything. But as far as this one goes, apple pie, flour, butter, eggs, sugar, and apples. So we need apples from the orchard. The orchards. Chocolate and orange cake was the same. Flour, butter, eggs, sugar, chocolate, but it needed oranges. Flapjacks was fine. Oat, butter, sugar cane, raisins and honey. The lemon cheesecake needed lemons, but it also needed cream cheese, so it needed another production to run this as well. So lemon, oat flour, butter, eggs, sugar, cream cheese and lemon. And then the vegetable pie, flour, butter, eggs, peas, carrots, potatoes and milk bottled to get a vegetable pie out. With, of course, a bakery box combining all the various different things over and above to give us an additional box out the back. We've got one of each of these out the back of here as well. So they're our bakery boxes. That's our vegetable pie, that's our apple pie, flapjacks, chocolate orange cake and our lemon cheesecake coming out of that one. We did the creamery. I think we're almost... Have we nearly done all of them? I think we might be, you know. Which brings us to this one here, the sandwich factory. Have a look at the sandwiches first before we have a look at egg sandwiches. Olive and tomato wrap, spinach and goat cheese, cheese and onion sandwich, a mushroom melt sandwich, and then round the back here are the boxes. So a sandwich box, if you're having a party, a gathering, and you wanted a selection, you can do that. Now, what we'll say with this one, this is again just a slight warning for putting stuff into this. If you're bringing pallets, if you're putting stuff in, and I'm not going to lie, for setting this up, I did use. I'm just going to show you here now. If you're wondering, so people might ask. Under tools, I had this mod installed by Yoss, the Farm Pallet Shop, which enables you to place this, which is basically a pallet warehouse point. You can place it into a point like this in a production, press that to allow it to overlap, click on it, and then when you open the pallets up, so when you choose whatever pallets you want, it puts them straight into the point there. So if you are setting this up to get it to run just to see how it works or whatever it might be you're doing, that is an absolute godsend for doing this kind of thing. However, that now comes with a warning, because the trigger for this one, when you go to place it, the trigger is off the ground by a foot or two. So placing that on the ground, it wasn't working properly. So just be warned, if you're going to put stuff in here, the trigger is actually off the ground ever so slightly. Can I find it under factories? Again, I'm very conscious of time. I want to get this all done. And it was... If I find myself a space, you see there? You see the triggers? The triggers are level with the actual platform, the concrete platform, not with the ground out the front. So when I place that, whilst they do show on the ground, the triggers are actually set a little bit higher. Just a word of warning, if you're trying to use this and you can't work out why you're putting stuff down, it's not taking it, the trigger is a little bit higher, so you might need to hold it up to do that. So let's hop into here to our sandwich factory and see what we need. So for our cheese and onion sandwich, bread, butter, cheese and onion. Straightforward, but we need onions from the greenhouses. Egg sandwich was bread, butter, eggs and mayonnaise, so we need the mayonnaise. Mushroom was, actually this was right, bread, butter, oyster mushroom and cheese. That's why I've got more of those, because I could set this up and running quicker. This one was whole grain flour, so we did need some of that from the dry productions. Sunflower oil, olives and cream cheese, we needed that from the creamery. Then the spinach was whole grain flour, we needed from the dry productions. Sunflower oil, spinach and goat cheese. And then we can do a sandwich box, which combines all of those different things to give us the sandwich box out of the end. So I think that's all the productions. Pretty sure it is. Which brings us then to our sell points. So at the front here we've got a local shop, which is this one just here. A standard sell point, which is just this one here. So the local shop was 9 slots, 12,500, so not 25 grand. What I haven't checked to see is whether the shelves, no, the shelves are already packed on it, but these sell on the hour, so these actually technically work like a production. This one doesn't, this is just a sell point. This is the selling station generic products. This is 1 slot, 1,000 to buy, so this is basically just a sell point that will do anything. Then this is your supermarket. This is what it's all built off of. This is the one that takes all the big boy stuff. So this is 12 slots, 25,000 to buy. We go into build mode, go across from our productions to our factory, to our sell points, and you'll see them there. So there is the supermarket, and you'll see that takes all the boxes. So this is all the bigger stuff. That one will take pretty much any of your normal stuff. That's why it's the local shop, and the prices do vary. Then that one for £1,000 is just a generic sell station, which takes pretty much anything. Sort of base game as well. But these two, whilst they are under sell points, are again technically productions, and I will show you what I mean, and we will see some of the prices in the price menu in just a moment. So let's go up to the front door and have a look at the productions. So here we are. So we've got sell all quickly unrealistic, and we look down the bottom there. Hang on. That requires something of everything being put in here, but it says 2.8, 2.5 and 2.2 supermarket coin. So as you put these in here, these do sell, and you have to turn these on like that, but I've no items in it at the moment. You do turn them on like a production, you activate it, and it sells on the hour. So rather than the end of the day or immediately, these sell hourly to represent the fact that products are gradually selling over time. And obviously this one, it's 2.2 times supermarket coin, so it's basically the recipe is no different to any recipe anywhere else. It's the speed at which this processes the items you've put in here is how much money you make on each hour, because obviously the faster this runs through your products, the more money you make each hour. The slower it does, the less money you make each hour. You will still make the money at the end of the day, it just takes a little bit longer to go. I think that's right. So then we got supermarket coin high, that's set at 2.8. That one low is set at 2.2, and that one is set at 2.5. So 2.2, 2.5, 2.8, or that one does all of them, as you already saw, 2.2, 2.5, 2.8. Whether that's cumulative or not, I'm not too sure, but we'll have a look at the prices in the prices menu anyway. So if you bring your products to this one, you're going to gain bonuses off of this, because you'll bring it to a specialist sell point rather than just a generic, which is the one in the middle. You could just bring everything to this one if you wanted to, and you'll get a set sell point, but these will give you bonuses because you're running them through. Now this is the big jalopy. So this is where your boxes, your biscuit box, your cereal box, crisp box, your ready meal box, sandwich box, salad box, dairy box, bakery box, all of these come to this one. If we click on here, so fresh, grocery and non-foods, that does pretty much everything. And you'll see there 16 times supermarket coin, it says there. But again, the prices of these are so much higher anyway. So you might say, well, let's say 16. It's good. It's very good. You've got Just Fresh, so that's your sandwich box, salad box, bakery box and dairy box. Just Grocery, crisp cereal, ready meal and biscuits, things that are packaged, things that aren't fresh. But again, like I say, if you want to do everything, that's fine. But you've got to remember, when you put them in here, you need to turn these on. If you get to the end, if you get to the next hour and you haven't been paid anything, it might be you've either run out of goods in here or you haven't turned these on. So you have to make sure you switch it on to get it to run. And this one is sell all, unrealistic. I'm suddenly thinking, right, so you've got your cycles a month and your recipe. Like anything else, that's why. If you look at the cycles of a month, and that's 240. Cycles of a month, 240. Cycles of a month, 240. That one, cycles of a month, 24,000. So that's what I was saying about the speed of how it processes. So that will process through your stuff way quicker. That's a more bang, you know, not instant payment, but it will run through them fairly quickly. That was the difference. I'm thinking, I can't remember why that was unrealistic. It's the cycles a month that change on that one. So what I'm going to do now is come out of here. Oh, the time of recording this, update 1.9 went live. We've got the new Skoda, the electric Skoda, which is very nice, the ENIAC. I just grabbed one of those because I wanted to see what it looked like and whizzed out here to set everything up, and I just left it sat there. Just in case you're wondering, thinking, where's that car come? That's not part of the building, that's a separate thing. So let's go sell points then, shall we? And let's check out the prices. So as I've said, and I've repeated a few times now, you can sell any of these products as a product as they produce. You don't have to make the boxes, you don't have to do onward productions on this. It's entirely up to you. So the apples on their own, if you just want to do that and run those greenhouses and the orchards, apples sell for around 400, just over 400. I'm on normal economy. Obviously on easy economy that'll be a bit more, and that will fluctuate over the course of the year. Apple pie, not bad. Mid fours. 4.7, 4.6, 4.6, not bad at all. The bakery box, look at the price of the bakery box, 28 grand. So if you've taken the time to run through all those processes, get it all up and running, all the various different things it required, and then use all those items to make the bakery box is well worth doing. So like I say, it's pretty good. Barley malt extract, again, high threes, not too bad. Beetroot salad, mid to high threes, not bad. Biscuit box, 28s and 29s. Again, the box is pretty good, I have to say. We have got the cereal box, 29s and 30s, not bad. Cheese boards, high sixes. So the cheese board, because it requires the various different cheeses, which you've got to prepare in the first place anyway, not bad to sell on their own. Cheese corn puffs, mid fours. Cheese pasta, low fives. Cheese and onion crisps, mid fours. I think the crisps are pretty much cheese and onion sandwiches, mid to high fours actually. Chives, over £1 for chives. That's not bad. Chocolate biscuits, mid fives. Chocolate milk, low threes. Cereal, chocolate pop cereal, low to mid sixes. Chocolate and orange cake, low sixes. Cream cheese, just over £1. That's not bad. Crisp box, 24s, 23s, 24s. Cucumber, just over £1. Custard cream biscuits, low fives. Dairy box, 20 grand, not bad. Egg fried rice and egg sandwich, so 3 grand, mid threes, low fives. Enoki pancakes, low to mid fours. Flatjacks, mid fives. Fresh pasta, low threes. Frosted honey flakes, high fours. Fruit shortcake, again, the price of, again, I have to reiterate, I'm on normal economy. This is not easy economy. Now you might be looking and saying, well, that's ridiculous, the prices are crazy. Then set yours on hard economy. That'll bring the price. You won't get as much for those. But again, if you're saying that, then this is probably not something you would use anyway. Potentially, I don't know. Glucose syrup, not worth a huge amount, but if you're running it, you might want to say, if you've got a surplus. Golden honey puff cereal, high fives. Green bean cereal, low to mid threes. What I'm looking for. Jam biscuits, low fives. Lemon cheesecake, low fives. Well, low to mid, depends on where you're selling it. Mayonnaise, that's not bad, is it? Mayonnaise is pretty good, isn't it? Mixed leaf salad, high threes into fours. Mushroom melt sandwich, high fives. Napa cabbage slaw, high 3s. Non-food pallet. Now look at that. The non-food pallet up into the 40s. 42, 43, 43, 41. And I've got loads of those run because that non-food pallet factory was running off pretty much base game stuff. So you could get a lot of that stuff running. That's not over and above anything. That will just run off base game things. I didn't require any other products from any of the other factories to get that up and running. So when I said about getting that up and running first, and that can help, hopefully help you pay for your other stuff moving forward. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go and grab some of those non-food pallets, bring them over to the supermarket at the very end, and we'll see how we go with selling those. Oat biscuits, oat flour, if you're looking top right, oat milk, olive and tomato wrap. Yeah, I mean, onions, oranges, pea pasta salad. We're getting there towards the end. Potato salad. Potato starch. So it's a price of potato starch. So I just didn't get a pallet of that get out. Ready meal box. What's that? 22s. Red peppers. Over £1,000. Salad box. 21s and 20s. Sandwich box. 26s, 27s. Sour creams. Nice. Sour cream and chive crisps. Soybean milk. Yeah, they're okay. I mean, like I say, the question also needs to be asked at this point: is the juice worth the squeeze? This is a lot of time invested, a lot of time involved to get to this point. Like any production, if you're running base game productions, if you're running any sort of productions with Onward productions, so you might just do your from the field to here, produce that, sell it, or just from the field and sell it, that's fine. But if you're doing from the field to this production, which then goes to this production, there's always that question of the end result: is it worth those steps? Are you better off selling that, or the middle product, or the end product? Or is it just, it depends why you're doing it. Are you doing it to make money? Are you doing it because you want to try some different products and some different things you haven't used before? That is always a question to ask. I'm going to go and grab my telehandler. I'm going to grab some of those new non-food pallets, boxes. Where did I leave my telehandler? Let's put them in there and see how this goes. So this is me finding out for the first time along with you. Learn along with MrSealyp. Now I've set this to sell all quickly. I just realised what I said as well earlier on. When I said that's just fresh, that's just grocery. That does both. It doesn't do both, does it? That's fresh, grocery and non-food. These are just foods, aren't they? So that does that non, which I've got here. So if we go into there now, oh no, that's a whole different ball game. I should have taken them. Oh wow, okay, that's changed things massively. I suppose I should have realised, because it's like a recipe like anything else. I have put those in there, but that's still showing that sell all quickly as materials missing. It's got the exclamation mark. Materials are missing, because for that to sell, I have to have all of those. So this takes it to a whole nother level, in that if I'm going to get that to work, I have to have the boxes from all of the productions in here before that will score. That's why you're getting the big money. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to whiz off. I think I've got 2 of those pallets left. I'm going to bring a pallet of that back to the generic sell point, see if that will sell and I can make any money from that one. Because this one didn't do those boxes, did it? No, this was just all the individual stuff. But even that's the same. For those to work, you've got to bring everything. Wow, okay. So, blimey. Don't know how I feel about that, I'm going to be honest. There's me saying you can get yourself off and running by selling those other things. Let me just go and grab a couple of those other pallets, see if I can sell them in the middle one. because that means you've got to have, like I've done now, I have to have everything running, every type of pallet, all of it, to put into the sell points to get those prices. Wow. Now, I don't know if this is going to work. We're about to find out. Oh, there you go. 83,947. So, if you want to sell immediately to build up your money while you're getting these all up and running, use this one in the middle. It took it no problem at all, as we just saw. Phew, or something. Oh no. But if you want to go for the Ubers, the Uber bonuses, then you want to use these two. Once everything is up and running, and you bring some of everything to them, once you've got everything in there, then set them on. Then you're going to make the extra bonuses on top. Wow. This has been hours and hours and hours of prep. Not complaining, just explaining, because I wanted to see how this worked. This was the one that piqued my interest when I saw it and saw the production. I thought, I wonder if you stuck around and caught the end bit. I couldn't leave it as it was. I just couldn't. So what I've done is bought everything, all of the ready boxes, all the boxes that I made. I've bought some of each. I've put them all in here because I just wanted to know. So let's go down to sell all quickly. That is now set to running. We're on, well, this is my test map. So 187,252,808. So let's say 253,808. What I'm going to do now is skip ahead to the next hour, because this sells on the hour. And this runs faster, so it should run through those fairly quickly. I mean, is it running? It's showing that it's processing them. Look, they're all processing. So then on the next hour, the speed of processing here will determine how much we get on the next hour. You will still get the maximum money, even if you're on the slower ones. Sorry, even on the slower ones, it just takes longer to get there. I mean, that in essence is the cycle of month of speed. So let's see on the next hour. So it'll be 10 o'clock. How much we've made on all of those. We saw what we got on that 83,000 for the two boxes, but this says 16 times supermarket. So I'm assuming it's going to be a big chunk of change. Well, I thought I'd misread it. This can't be right. I was on 187,253,808. It now says 188,945,076. That's 1,691,268. And our thing is empty. It's used all, but that... What? So it's... That, and on that bombshell... Wow. But there you go. That is the Supermarket Productions by Let's Be Having Moo. I hope this has been helpful. I hope you found it useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.